Hey, everyone. Welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. You got it. Sounds a little better today. I feel a little better today. My voice stronger today. That means I'm almost done with this shit. But still taking over 12,000 units of vitamin C daily. And it's ascorbyl palmitate, oil-based vitamin C. It's the only thing. Last time I had something like this was, I think, 2015. It was like 2.5 months. And then one of you guys said, dude, ascorbyl palmitate. It worked. Bam. Took about 2 weeks, but it killed it. All right. Here we are, folks. This is a Wednesday Wacki-tude broadcast, and the world is going bonkers on psychotic pharmaceutical SSRI drugs. It is becoming an out-of-control global psychiatric problem, and it's all the drug industry. You notice I said vitamin C, not some fucking drug. Anyways, today I spoke with a physician personally, and I said, hey, you're not taking any SSRIs, are you? You know. And I said, no, doc, not touching them. And he says, hey, they're deadly. They're dangerous. He refuses to prescribe them. And very nice doctor, very honest guy. He was probably 80-ish, 75 to 85, somewhere in there. Nice fella, very experienced. Reminded me a lot of my OIC in the Marines. Anyways, folks, avoid people on SSRIs. Last weekend, I witnessed somebody who I know takes them. I don't approve, of course, but hey, he's making his own big boy decisions. And I watched him, and something happened, something minor. And I stood there at the ready, and I watched him get madder and madder and madder and lose his shit and jump in his vehicle and drive off because he was going to give someone a peace of mind. Not good, folks. Not good. Now, I am here in the great state of Florida, my new adopted home state. I was a native-born Californian, but California has lost its mind collectively. It's on SSRIs. But even here in Florida, it's not 100% safe, folks. It's not. We're hearing about people all over the country, Florida included, having these foreigners, these illegal aliens, murdering, kidnapping, raping. It's out of control. I spoke with another friend today, and she said to me, John, I think it's time I started training with my handgun again. I can carry concealed. She has a concealed weapons permit, and of course it is now a concealed or open carry state. And I said, that's a good idea. And I helped her pick out what she carries. You know, it's a Kimber 357 Magnum revolver, and it is a nice piece. And I just reminded her, I just said, look, if you have to pull it, it's because you have to use it. And if you don't, you could get a whole lot worse than what you think is coming, because you can't trust these people, folks. You can't trust the government. Look at what's going on in Ireland, in England. Okay, in England, just today, it was revealed that an English woman was attacked, I think by 4 men, raped. They're all illegals. So the people came out in the hundreds and even thousands in anger, frustration, protest that their own government is allowing these people into the country by the boatload, and they're not stopping them. And if you criticize them or the government, you go to jail. So this occurs. This woman is attacked and raped by these illegals. So what does the government do? They send out a platoon, a regiment of police armed with riot gear to protect the people from these illegals. No. To protect the illegals from the people who want to know who the hell they are, where they're living, and if they're being properly prosecuted And I guarantee 100% that they're not. Isn't it amazing? What is it? Think about it, folks. I am trying to draw a slight connection between SSRIs and these low IQ foreigners, because they're just fine until they're not. They seem to behave themselves, then they just lose their shit and it's on. Right? I watched I caught some, it wasn't the video, I saw some still shots from a police cam. You know, they've got to wear the cam on their chest, records what they're doing. There's a 3-year-old boy in a shopping cart sitting in the seat, and a crazed woman runs up to him with a freaking cleaver. No, it wasn't a cleaver. It was a butcher's knife. Fucking blade on it, 8-10 inches long, trying to stab this kid. Got him once in the face. Luckily, the policeman was right there and shot the bitch and killed her. She's out of control. She's been violent before. And guess who let her out? Judges. Folks, judges. It's hard for me to not believe the government is not intentionally doing this, protecting these people, letting them out of jail, making sure they're interacting with regular people who have no idea that they're psychotic until they go psychotic. Until they go psychotic. I have another example from down here in Florida where a friend told me she was in a store, standing in line, minding her own business, just her all alone, checking out at the checkout stand. And some lunatic ghetto slime from like 3 or 4 lanes down started yelling about a white bitch, and she's going to beat her. Going to beat your ass in the parking lot. And she kept looking around like, I wonder who she's talking to, and realized they were yelling at her for having done nothing. She doesn't know who this person was, never really saw him in the store, didn't care, wasn't paying attention, minding her own business. And that's just it, folks. We mind our own business. We let the government do the government's thing. We leave the ghetto to the ghetto. We stay away from the illegals. And guess what? They find a way to interfere in our lives. You need to be fully prepared, folks. Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense. You need to have communications, some sort of power, electricity backup with solar or generator. It has to happen, folks. You have to get ready. Seriously, we have to get ready. Now, government is completely, and I mean completely, responsible for everything that's going on. And you and I, we, the people, are responsible for letting government get away with it. Don't feel guilty. This happens every single time in every empire with every tyrannical government. The people tolerate it. They put up with it. They're like, okay, it's not that bad. Let me read to you something. You're going to enjoy this. It's from the Declaration of Independence, and has everything to do with how the government behaves. One moment here. Where is it? Oh, yes, page 59. Me. Okay. All experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. Even the writers of the Declaration of Independence recognized that people will tolerate a lot of shit. But wait, those are the badasses from the American Revolution. That's the Declaration of Independence. No, they've come out and say people suffer under evils. Now, how long? Well, 1776, Declaration of Independence, people finally said, we're fucking done with it. Back in 1725, Benjamin Franklin, as a young man, was writing about the evils of British government, the king fucking with Americans. Folks, that's over 50 years of horse shit coming out of the fucking tyrannical government. Yes, even back then, they tolerated it for generations before they decided they finally had enough. Now, I've had enough for a long time, but you don't see me acting crazy. But I am prepared. But I am also done with propaganda, being lied to. I'm sick of this shit. I don't know if any of you caught this, but the United States military was told to release audio of a naval vessel, American Navy. They released the audio of a patrol boat in the Gulf of Oman, warning other vessels about the blockade. And here's a quote: "We will use force." I mean, in the movies, that's how it's done. The U.S. says something, people run. Or the U.S. says something, and then they kick someone's ass. Well, that's not what's really going on over there. I mean, basically, Trump was unfriended by those that control the Strait of Hormuz. So this isn't Facebook, man. But Trump thinks it's Facebook and social media fun time. So Trump unfriends the world and puts in his own blockade to combat the other blockade. And that's why the U.S. Navy is telling people, we will use force. The strait is closed. This is bullshit. It's propaganda. It's meant to make the American people think that the United States is control of the region. Bullshit. The audio is bullshit. China has made it very, very clear that all of the oil in those tankers that's coming through the Strait of Hormuz is theirs. It belongs to China and it will pass. Enough said. No threat needs to be happening beyond that. The audio is bullshit because everyone's just ignoring them. The Chinese oil tankers are passing. They're ignoring the propaganda. They may not even actually be broadcasting that. They could just be pretending to, the same way they pretended to fly around the fucking moon. Oh yeah, NASA is now shutting comments off. NASA is shutting off comments on their Artemis 2 videos. You want to know why? Because they're unfucking believable. Because it's fake, it's fraud, it's CGI, it's artificial intelligence. It's AI augmented video, to use a technical term. And by the way, it's turning out these astronauts are not astronauts. You know what they are? They're actors. Actors who have gone through astronaut training. Actors. They're all fucking actors. I think we're all getting used to it, and we're all getting sick of it. I should say we're getting used to identifying it. Now, you want some reality? I'll give you some fucking reality. Oh, by the way, get your comments down below. Get them in. Get them in all caps if you can. Makes it easier for me. Here's some reality. The nation of Brazil, the largest and most powerful nation in the South American continent. Brazil, who's a member of BRICS, which is Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. It's a conspicuously strange alliance of nations. Anyways, Brazil is on that side because, well, they don't like Israel. They don't like the bullshit coming out of Washington, D.C. Brazil has expelled the Israeli ambassador. Why do you think they would do that? I'll tell you why. Because they're tired of the bullshit and the lies. They're tired of the propaganda and the threats. The whole world is becoming tired of this shit. Like I said, right? People tolerate evil for a long time until they've been pushed too far. The world is noticing Israel. The United Nations today, speakers spoke up and said they're sick and tired of Israel's horseshit. They're tired of the genocide, of the murder, of the two-faced lies. So, let us continue. When Trump was being secretly investigated by Obama's White House through use of the FISA FISA. The FISA, which has to do with foreign intelligence. Interesting. Trump said we need to get rid of FISA bullshit. Well, now that he's president, guess what he is enjoying using? But the House Republicans don't want to pass the extension. And what I mean by his extension is the FISA, the foreign intelligence horse shit, is expiring. Many people don't realize when they pass a law, a lot of times it has a expiration date, like pasteurized milk. It expires, it goes bad. Also known as sunsetting, the way the national assault weapons ban from the 1990s had a sunset in it. Well, Trump wants the House to pass the FISA extension. And he writes this: it is extremely important to our military. Really? Really? Now, Trump says they're going to put provisions into the FISA extension that require a warrant for the government to surveil American citizens. If they're already getting a warrant through FISA, why the fuck don't they just get a normal warrant for any law enforcement investigation? Spying on Americans without real criminal suspicion is going to help the military fight our foreign enemies? Yeah. You know what? I think FISA should be getting warrants to look at AIPAC, the American-Israeli Pedophile Action Committee. And they should probably look into the Southern Poverty Law Center, and they ought to look into the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, for having foreign intelligence agents from Israel working to destroy America through the guise of a legal organization like the ADL or the SPLC. Right? The government should be looking. The military should be looking for the real enemies of America. But wait a moment. That's what tyranny is, isn't it? We know who the real enemies are of America. Those who want to destroy the Constitution. Let us continue, folks. Let us continue. The anti-Christian POS, Joy Behar from The View. She had this to say about Jesus. She says, Jesus didn't run around saying, quote, "I'm the Messiah." I didn't know Joy Behar was a Christian or a theologian or any such thing. But I guess she was promised the world 3,000 years ago. Folks, we are in a complete anti-American, anti-Christian, anti-Constitution, anti-law and order war right now. Right now. And our government isn't doing its job. In fact, it seems to be doing all it can. It seems to be doing all it can to make this happen. Now, remember when Judge Jeanine Pirro, the television judge who was on mainstream media talking big game, just like our good buddy Dan Bongina and our good buddy CashApp Patel. Remember that? She was talking all kinds of, I'll kick some ass. And then she turned out to start talking about, well, your Second Amendment doesn't go and it doesn't work here and it doesn't work there. Folks, understand this is a huge war. Prepping, food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense isn't just about an asteroid hitting us or the world runs out of oil. It's about everything. 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 Well, she's finally actually done something good. So Judge Jeanine Pirro, who is a U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C., she has dismissed the sedition charges against the Proud Boys. That's right. This is huge news. She's dismissed the charges against the Proud Boys, who, by the way, were framed by Nancy Pelosi, framed by the FBI, framed by the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, framed by the Democrats, framed by the media. How about old Judge Jeanine? Prosecute all of those I just named. Prosecute the Washington, D.C. Metro Nazis for perjury, false testimony in court, providing false evidence and false witness. I think that would fulfill the justice requirements. We're here. We're right here. We're right there. I mean, I don't know where you're at. How sick and tired, how full of this shit you have to take, right? I'm not saying do anything illegal or dangerous or any of that horse shit. I'm just saying there comes that level. In Ireland, they're on the street in the thousands, not just in one town, but across the country. They're shutting the country down. They're shutting down the highways. They're shutting down the fuel ports. They're shutting down everything. The Irish government has had its second vote of no confidence in their government. Well, it failed again. But one of the party leaders has resigned because the government is so corrupt and so fucked up. And the people know it. The government knows it. The agents know it. The police know it. Everyone is picking sides. Once again, today, about 400 of the Irish police said, you know what? We're not going to work today. Calling in sick. Good. Those are the good cops. But guess where they're not? They're not on the street protecting the people. Now, I saw another good cop in a video today. He pulled over past a policeman on the side of the road. The cop came up, started harassing him. This guy says, hey, you were speeding. You were way over the speed limit. You didn't have your lights on. There was no emergency. I want your name and I want your badge number. And this cop got mad at the guy in the truck, started yelling at him, telling him he's going to arrest him. Give me your name, your license, your insurance, blah, 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 right? This fucking guy said, bullshit, give me your fucking sergeant. The guy said, get out of the truck or I'm going to tase you. So the guy, while arguing, reluctantly got out of the truck, was handcuffed and thrown in the fucking squad car. Well, his sergeant showed up. And the sergeant said, this guy did not interfere. He did not interfere or obstruct your justice, Mr. Policeman. He committed no crime. Uncuff him. So this guy says, now I want that motherfucker to apologize to me. So the guy half-heartedly, reluctantly apologizes. Oh, by the way, the guy that pulled over that wanted to turn this other fucking guy in was himself a policeman. And he was there to make a fucking difference, get this guy's badge number and turn him in for violating the fucking rules. There are good people in government, in other words. There are good people in the law enforcement. But they're outnumbered. Anyways, this guy said, I'm going to fucking see you in court. I'm suing your ass for false arrest. Love it. We need more good people. Jeanine Pirro, go prosecute people. I'm glad you let the good guys go, the innocent go. But there's so much more to do, folks. Don't lose your shit. Don't do it. Don't lose your shit. Don't go crazy. But watch what's going on. Never turn your back on tyranny, on evil. Period. Right? Period. Oh, by the way, that story I was telling you about the woman who took a fucking giant kitchen knife to a child, a 3-year-old child, slashed his face. Walmart parking lot. This woman was not from New York or California, Illinois, or even Florida. Nebraska. Never turn your back on anyone, even if you think they're supposed to be the good guys. Watch how people's attention is being paid to you. Assess them as threats, unless you know them to not be a threat. Assess them as threats and be prepared. Always be prepared. Let's see. Thank you, Darcy T, for bringing me aware of Fleet Week, which is naval and Coast Guard vessels being showcased in Houston. Well, I guess Houston is close enough to the water. All right, folks, it is a Wacki-tude Wednesday. It just is. It's wacky. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what's on your mind. We're going to the inner circle, so get your comments into the comment section, and all caps, please, if you've got something you think I should be talking about. All right, everybody, here we are. I'm scrolling through, and guess what? I don't see anyone wanting to really talk about anything. Strange. We are being censored very, very heavily right now. We're being censored heavily. I don't know if your comments and questions that are in all caps are not being allowed through, but try and get them through to me. We're being censored by YouTube. We're being censored by artificial intelligence. They're figuring out my little code words like cerveza bug. They're figuring out, the Jim Jones juice. They learn this and they program it to look for it. They're doing everything they can to shut us up. Now, something's going on with the Democrats. Something's going on with the Democrats. Yes, Yankee, you were right. That police thing was in Colorado. And there you go. Anyways, the Democrats. Right now, Eric Swallowswell, California Democrat congressman. He was the one who was fucking the Chinese spy Fang Fang, even though he was married. We have yet another person coming out and saying she was violently raped by him. And then the other congressman that was allegedly in the room with him having sex with prostitutes, where one girl, or maybe both, were underage prostitutes. What is that? Ruben Gallegos? Is that the other fucking guy? In any event, give me your thoughts and comments down below. It seems like they're really letting Swallowswell go. I wonder why. Well, they need to get him off the ticket, but he's already stepped down from that. Well, they want to expel him from Congress. Very interesting. You want some more interesting? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, AOC, she is calling for congressional member to be knocked out of office. Was it Ilhan Omar she wanted gone, or this Ruben Gallegos, or what? No. It was another. That's right. It's another Democrat, not Ilhan Omar, not Swallowswell. She wants to get rid of the black female congresswoman who is in trouble for $5 million in fraud. I'll tell you what, they should all be expelled from Congress. They should all be investigated. They should all have charges pressed. They should all go to jail. You know what that would do? That would let the other Congress people know, you better get the fuck out of here. Don't come to Washington and think you're going to screw over the country. I know that's what you used to believe, because that's what I used to believe. Oh, everyone in Washington is loaded with prosecutors in the Department of Justice, the Attorney General's office, the FBI, not to mention regular police, state police, right? Oh, you got the SEC. Everyone should be there, right? Everyone should be watching these fucking clowns. No one is doing anything about it. Now they kind of are. And there was another article that came out today saying approximately 10 more, not just Democrats, Republicans as well, Congress people, meaning men and women, are going to step down. over sexual allegations? What is going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. It's always been going on. The big question is, why now all of a sudden? Why now all of a sudden are Democrats getting in trouble, as well as Republicans? Could it be that Trump is being such a good boy, fulfilling his role, serving his masters, his puppet masters in Israel, that they are turning on the Democrats and they want to keep Trump in office? Oh, because there's pushes within Congress, folks, to get rid of Trump with the 25th Amendment. They're starting to talk about it. They're starting to say maybe we should file the papers. Oh, I got to tell you, folks, it's getting really fucking interesting. You know, when the ship starts sinking, the rats flee the ship, and the rats that are too deep in the ship can't get out. They start trying to kill each other because they're fucking rats. This is exactly what I've been waiting for, in fact, is the rats to turn on each other. The rats to rat each other out, to start turning each other in, to lie about each other, to lie about their own guilt, of course. They always love to excuse themselves while accusing others. Right, Corey? Anyways. It's happening, folks. The blackmail machine, because that's what they use, blackmail and extortion. They have videos and film of drugs, orgies, pedophilia, rape. They have all this information, control files. And they'll expose one another if they can, or they'll be exposed if they don't play the game right. The game is getting nasty. What do you guys want to hear about? I'm keeping a close eye up here. Let me give you an idea of the pressure that these people are under while they're also participating. While they're also participating in all their little sex capades and drug capades, etc. Let me tell you what's going on. Shit, I tell you, folks. How about this? There's a war powers resolution that's in Congress to restrain President Trump's military activity halfway around the world in Iran. It has failed in the Senate. One Republican voted with the Democrats. They're not stopping, folks. They want to get crazy over there. It's just going to continue to get nasty. It really is. I mean, I just don't understand a powerful person who's got wealth or popularity and prestige or political power. People like these corporate business owners or these investment firms or these banking moguls and powerful men, these extremely wealthy aristocratic families, and the King of England, right? The kings, you got kings in Sweden, England, Spain, right? You got all these kings over there still. King of England is a big one. I'll use him as an example. A fucking jerk off, and that's what he is. Has never worked a day in his life. Not like we work. Oh, he has to get up, maybe even has to tie his own shoes from time to time. Like this fucking guy, all he's got to do is be a decent human being and look out for his country. Instead, he invites all these fucking people in. He doesn't chastise the government. He actually is converted to Islam, in my opinion, and the opinion of many other people. He's brought Muslims in. You know, it's just, why are they turning on us? Why did Trump go from, I don't need anyone's money, to give me all the money I can get from Israel? He becomes the president, and he becomes even wealthier. I thought he was supposed to serve the country. He was going to do a great job and do it without, it's disgusting, right? It's just fucking disgusting. These people were supposed to serve us, and we pay them and we take care of them for it. And in return, they shit on us. They destroy our countries. They pit us against each other. And they follow the playbook from an evil organization. And it's truly what it is. The Illuminati, my friends, it's not the Freemasons. The Illuminati, my friends, it's not the Moose Lodge or the Elks Lodge. It's not the Lions Club. No, it's an organization that has been caught time and time and time again. They first got caught in 1776, that same year that the Declaration of Independence came out. That was the Bavarian Illuminati. But don't worry, they weren't Bavarian or German, if you will. That's just where they were based. Then, years later, they got caught again. Karl Marx wrote his Communist Manifesto. And then yet again later, the protocols of the learned elders of Zion slipped out into the public, and we again learned who they are and what they believe. And that document, the protocols, circulated from the late 1800s into the early 1900s, and then it happened. The learned elders got enough Bolshevik Russians to riot, revolt, and they overthrew the Tsar, the king of Russia. They murdered everybody. Then they murdered 80 million Christians through starvation, assassination, and conflict. These same evil people went to war against white people. Yes, white people. Before World War I, and they got us all to fight each other and kill each other in the tens of millions. And then they went to war against Germany in the 1920s, and Germany fought back and expelled them from Germany. And those that didn't leave went to prison camps. Hang on there, Nikki. I'm going to bring you up here in a second. Same people, same rule. The protocols became the Kalergi plan. And we keep getting these plans, don't we? The 2030 plan, the 2050 plan, the 2024, the this plan, the that plan. It's all the same thing. It's all the same group. They just change the name through time. They change the name of the plans. It's the same fucking people. And they buy politicians. And they push us. And they call for our death, the death of Western civilization. Did you know that this group of people, commonly associated with rats, have been hated and chased out of China and Japan? And they're noted in China and Japan for being rats, for kidnapping and eating their children, for being charlatans and scumbags and thieves and fraudsters. Yeah, as far east as the land of the rising sun in Japan, as far north as Sweden and Norway and Finland. That's why up in Sweden, Norway, and Finland, they are absolutely jam-packed with these low IQ, inbred, murderous Muslims, as well as the rest of Europe. Russia hasn't tolerated it, folks. They know what happened. We've been betrayed. The whole world, especially the Western world, has been betrayed. And they, the bad guys, keep telling us that whiteism, white racism, white nationalism, white supremacy is bad. And we all need to be destroyed. And they come out and literally tell us. This is why we have shit as the fan, folks. This is why we have COVID. This is why we have government out of control. This is why we have illegals. This is why we have the homosexual agenda, the pedophile agenda. This is why our government won't do its job, because they're all bought and owned and paid for to push these programs that have been in place for over 200 fucking years. Because this evil organization and evil group of people literally want to kill Western civilization, as well as Japan and China, as revenge. That's what this is, folks. It's fucking revenge that they're after. And they're pushing. And they're demanding. And they're making stupid people feel guilty for it. And they're making everyone else afraid because of social pressure and the use of computer technology, artificial intelligence, to try and locate us and control us and punish us and ultimately fucking kill us. It's very real. All right, let's move on here to Nikki. Let's see what she has to say. She says, was either Scott Ritter or Professor Morandi. This AM said the United States has been imploded from the inside. His point was Trump actually causing collapse of the United States. So maybe all this sudden rats terminating their seats or being terminated, the ones that are either going to leave or being forced to leave, is that they know something large is about to go down and it's not in the United States' favor. That's just it, Nikki. We don't know. Something large is going down. It's not about to go down. We have been dealing with this shit, and it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse through time, right? It's getting worse in a very quick move. It's going parabolic shit on us. That's my assumption. That is that's my take on this. They are purposefully doing this. For years now, many congressmen, let me bring up their names. Ready? Matt Gaetz resigned from Congress. Trey Gowdy, piece of shit, resigned from Congress. There was another smart Republican resigned from Congress. For years, I've heard about CEOs quitting. Now, me personally, give me $10 million. I don't need to be a CEO. I'll quit. We'll go live a nice, quiet life, right? These guys were resigning in their early 60s or their 50s and just taking the money, pulling the golden parachute. But we see people like Pelosi and Schumer and Trump and Biden and the Clintons. Am I right? Mm-hmm. How about Mitch McConnell, Strom Thurmond? A lot of these fucking people go in their 70s, their 80s, their 90s. They won't fucking leave the power and money. Yet these other people, like you're describing, are either being terminated or terminating themselves and quitting. Same goes for police chiefs, sheriffs. They're quitting their jobs for the last several years all over the place. And what are they getting replaced with? These DEI worthless piece of shit leaders. Same with district attorneys. The decent ones are fucking leaving. They're getting replaced by these Soros candidates. Something large is already going down, but I think maybe it's the consequences that we're all about to notice in a very bigly fashion. It is coming. It is absolutely coming. Great topic. I'm glad you brought that up, Nikki. I'm going to bring this up from Robin. She says, she's quoting Jesus here from the Christian Bible. Says, Jesus said, let not your heart be troubled. Very simple. Robin writes, so I try not to let all that is happening in the world get to me. In the end, I can't control it. That's, let not your heart be troubled. Your heart, right, is not your head. Your head is not your heart. I'm good here. It's good advice. Let not your heart be troubled. Right? I know where my heart, my soul is going. I know who I am. Right? I know my faith. That doesn't mean my head doesn't see all the shit that's going on. My heart is not troubled, but my head sure is. They take you and throw you into a prison. They start torturing you. Someone beats the ever-loving shit out of you, hospitalizes you, paralyzes you, cripples you. They inject you with poison. So you have fucking heart attack after heart attack and stroke after stroke. Your heart, meaning your spirit, let it not be troubled. But the rest of your body is going to feel the pain. And that's what prepping is for. Right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, your plan. Because your head, your body is on the line. Let not your heart or your spirit, your soul be troubled. But there is physical pain, and that's why getting prepared physically is so important. But also, yes, prepare your spirit. Understand that this is all temporal. Right? You could be killed tomorrow. What difference does it make? Well, it all makes a difference. That's why we need to fight for freedom and liberty, in my opinion. We need to fight for the Constitution, for what's right, for what we know has been good. In any event, chance favors the prepared mind. I'm going to save the rest of my voice. I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow. Semper Fi. God bless America.